Hey there YouTubers, welcome to DidgieTalks and my YouTube experiment 1 month in. So I started this YouTube experiment off the back of some encouragement by my 2 young sons. They said, Dad, you could do that, you'll be alright at that, and well, if your own kids can't think you're going to be good at something, then who can? So anyway, I thought I'd give it a go. I thought it'd be fun and interesting, thought I might learn a few new things, but in terms of success, really, I just thought it was a side hobby. I didn't think it would be successful at all. I expected a few family and friends to watch a few videos and maybe do some likes and some dislikes and maybe some comments and some banter and maybe even subscribe. So really low numbers and some really quick results. But then I thought it would fizzle out just as quickly, and 1 month in, that would be the end of it. So how's it gone? Well, I'm looking at my analytics now, and to just give you some background numbers, so far I've had 3,100 views, which consists of 10,100 minutes watched. I've now got 44 subscribers, and all of that is in just under a month, or about a month worth of being a YouTube creator. So first things first, really, that was surprising for me. 3,100 views off of 17 videos and 10,000 minutes watched, 44 subscribers. And most of those subscribers are not people I know, actually. In fact, it's probably a quarter of friends and family, and the rest are people that have just watched the videos and come along. So straight off the bat, I would say that that was far more success than anything I was expecting. But, let's not get too carried away. In the big world of YouTube, whilst that may seem like success for someone like me in the first month, in terms of millions of views and hundreds or thousands of subscribers, I've still got an awful long way to go. So let's take a look at what I've learned from being a YouTube creator for just over a month, other than unusual amount of success, even by my very low expectations and standards. Well, what did I learn? Well, one of the first things I learned was knowing your subjects, or knowing which subjects you want to cover. So for me, I'm a lifelong techie, and I thought that whatever I did would have to be tech involved. So I chose to do videos on my Tesla because it's tech, it's automotive, it's new and exciting stuff, and I'm excited by it. So I thought I'd use that as one of my areas of interest. The other thing I did was I started to look at a video with Freddie the Bulldog. So if you can hear snoring in the background, that's Freddie the Bulldog at my feet in his usual position, asleep, comfy, snoring his head off. Bulldogs are full of character, fantastic animals, and provide a lot of opportunity for video and fun and mirth. I haven't done a great deal actually on Freddie, and I will be doing more, but I thought that was another area we could cover. And the other area was obvious tech tips or tech reviews. So as a lifelong techie, as a gamer, as somebody who just finds technology and science hugely interesting and exciting, that was an obvious one. So I chose those 3 areas, and that's really what I've kicked off with. So what I found out immediately was actually the more areas of interest you have, or the more things you're going to be doing videos on, then the more work you've got to do. So I've essentially got 3 areas to cover. That's Tesla, that's Freddie, and then that's tech stuff. Well, tech stuff is a really broad range of things, and you could do hundreds of videos on that, and I'm going to come back to that in a minute. Freddie, done a few videos and they've had moderate interest, but again, Freddie's doing something every hour of every day, and there's loads of stuff to capture and loads of videos you could make around Freddie. And then the Tesla stuff is a little bit more organized and balanced, because actually really what you're covering is things like software updates, things you've learned around autopilot and how it performs, and with those updates, any updates that come with it. So one of my most popular videos has been Beach Buggy Racing, which is a game that came out on the Tesla app and the Tesla screen that you can use while you're doing charging, while you're spending time charging, or even just for fun. So if your kids just want to sit in the car, they can play 2-player and they can play Tesla Beach Buggy Racing. So, plenty of material. But like I said, the more things you cover, the more material there is, the more work you have to do. And one thing for sure that I've learned out of this experiment is if you are going to take it seriously or even do it as a reasonably engaged side hobby, then you are going to have to spend a fair amount of time creating the videos, post-production, thinking about new things to do, and then videoing that and so on. I mean, it can really take up some time. So what I would say is if you are thinking about becoming a YouTube creator and it's something you want to do to a fair degree of success, then you're going to have to put in the time and the effort. So what seems to be working for me, the most popular videos that I've got on my channel, or the most popular video that I have on my channel, is for a tech review I did on gaming headsets. So I did a tech review on an LS35X and Arctis 9X Xbox Direct Connect gaming headsets. Today I'm going to be talking about two Direct Connect gaming headsets for the Xbox. The LS35X from Lucid Sound and the Arctis 9X from SteelSeries. And for that I've had almost 1,000 views in its own right. Plenty of comments, 95, oh actually what is it, 45 likes, a couple of dislikes, which I will also come back to at some point. But to have almost 1,000 views from completely anonymous and varied YouTube viewers is amazing, in my view. I really wasn't expecting that. And that is by far my most popular video. So clearly, gaming headsets or gaming in general is a huge area of interest and opportunity. So definitely one that's worth getting into. My next most successful video is actually partly gaming related. It's a Tesla software update that brought with it Beach Buggy Racing 2. If this is the kind of thing we can expect from games to come, then it's going to be a lot of fun. Nice work, Elon. That video has had almost 750 views, and it's both Tesla related and gaming related, so I guess there's a bit of crossover there, which is interesting. And then followed very closely by the Tesla videos I've done where I've videoed my autopilot drives and some of the things that autopilot does. Today we're talking about living with a Tesla. Because I guess that's still pretty exciting and new technology in the world, and there aren't that many people that have access to that technology. So I'm hoping that's a combination of both Tesla drivers who want to see it in action before they've actually downloaded the update themselves, and people that are just interested in general. Let's talk equipment for the job. So what I can say right off the bat is that if you are thinking about taking this up as a hobby or even something more serious, then you can probably do it with the kit you've already got. Right from the start, I've used an iPhone X as it turns out, which obviously has great video and photo capability, but nevertheless still some tech that most people are carrying around in the shape of a smartphone of some description. And I have had a few other things that I brought into the mix. So I borrowed a GoPro Hero 4, so a very older version of a GoPro Hero from my son, so that I could do dual videos while I was in the car. So I could have one on the road and one on the dashboard, for example. I had a Mavic Air drone, which I haven't used a great deal, to be frank, in terms of what I've put together with some videos, but it's definitely something I'd want to use more in the future. And that was really it. I did actually go out and invest in a DJI OSMO Mobile 2 gimbal, because I found that I wanted to do some walking videos, and holding the phone out with one hand and pushing buttons was both impractical and also jiggly. So the video quality was a bit jiggly and movie. And just having a gimbal that you can hold in one hand more comfortably, push a few buttons to do a few things, and hold steady actually makes a great deal of difference to the final video production on that. So I did make an investment in a piece of kit which cost just over 100 quid. Nevertheless, I didn't have to. I could have got away with what I had. So it's fair to say that if you are going to do this, you can do it with equipment you probably already got. If you want to make it just a little bit better, there are a few things you could invest in to smooth it out a little bit, shall we say, and just improve that production a little bit more. And then, yeah, of course, if you really want to get into it in a big way, there are a whole bunch of things you can invest in terms of better cameras, tripods, gimbals, software, all sorts of things you could really start to lay some cash out on. But it could get quite expensive. But for me, I stuck with what I had. Wasn't really intending to making this a full-time thing, although that may change. And I think I've got some relatively decent results from it. Now let's talk about production, or at least in this case, pre-production. So the other thing I found is if I wanted to make a couple of videos, I would go straight into it and it would be all over the place. So I wouldn't know really what I was going to say, and I would trip over my words, and I was forever having to stop and start videos. So very quickly I learned that it was a good idea to have some pre-production prep. So know what it is you were going to talk about, your subject. Make sure you'd made some notes about what you wanted to cover and the reasons why, and even giving yourself some script notes about the kind of thing you might want to say. Now this isn't necessarily something you want to stick to in absolute detail. You don't really want to be reading off a script. You want these things to be as natural as possible, but it's a good idea to do that first so that you've thought about it, you've got some things in mind, and if you do need to refer back to something to remind you what you should be going to next, you can. But pre-production is something I learned fairly quickly is worth spending a little bit of time on if you want to make your videos smooth and fluid. Nevertheless, if you do find yourself tripping over words and so on, then you can use software in the production phase to clip things together, to cut out pieces which are not necessarily particularly smooth or stumbling. So you can go freeform, and you can then use the production process to smooth that out a bit. But I would always recommend having something prepared in terms of what you're going to talk about, what you want to cover, what you want the outcome to be. And then using the production software to just tidy it up and smooth it out a bit. So in terms of production software, I have a Mac and I have iMovie that comes with the Mac, and I just use that. And for me, and for the kind of videos I'm doing, that's plenty powerful enough. So again, no real investment in software, other than obviously I'd bought a Macintosh at some point in the past, but no real investment in software specifically for this project outside of that I already have. And okay, so with iMovie, I'm learning more. There are some hidden features which you need to find in order to make things happen, and you need to get used to using it in order to speed up the process. But in that first month, I pretty much got the hang of the software. I pretty much got the hang of the stuff I need to do on it, and it pretty much does everything I need it to do. So at this stage, I'm not really looking to invest too much more time or money in other software products and other capabilities. So I've pretty much got what I need. Once you've got your videos and you've made them and you've uploaded them, then you need to start thinking about marketing, I guess. Marketing your channel, marketing the videos you've got on there. Now this is an area that requires a little bit more thought or consideration. YouTube is a huge marketing tool in its own right. And if you title the videos correctly and you put enough wording into the description, then they'll pop up on searches. So they kind of market themselves to some degree. That being said, if you are a big social media buff and you have Facebooks and Instagrams and all the other bits and pieces, then you can use that to market your videos. If you've got a decent enough following, you could put links into some of those social media platforms. You can talk about your channel and what you've got going on those social media platforms, and they may in themselves do some marketing for you. So you talk to 2 people and they may talk to another 2 each, which is 4, and then it expands and expands and expands. If you're really lucky, you'll hit on something which is really interesting to people, has the potential to go viral. I haven't been that lucky yet, but fingers crossed I'll come up with something that will go viral and really kick off my YouTube career. But yeah, marketing is something that you might want to give some thought to, and if you are already out there doing a lot of social stuff, then that's a great place to start. Let's talk about the audience. So YouTube comes with some really great tools. So you have through YouTube Studio videos, analytics, things you can do with those videos. So you can actually use video editing in YouTube Editor to make some changes, to add links, to put subscribe buttons on your videos, etc., etc. So again, some additional post-production, if you like, editing within YouTube Studio. But really, the thing that I've found really useful about YouTube Studio is the analytics. It tells you a vast amount of things about what your videos are doing, or which ones are successful, why they're successful, in as much as what demographic is watching them, what national or nationality of people are watching them. So for example, surprisingly enough, my most popular videos seem to have their biggest following in the US. So my gaming headset videos and my tester videos seem to have a huge US following, not so much such a big UK following, largely US following, which again is a complete surprise to me. But having tools within YouTube to do analytics to tell you these things is not just interesting, but also informative about how you might want to think about what your next videos are doing, and how you might want to target those to that same audience. My subscriber base seems to be largely US as well, which is great because it's a huge opportunity market, if you like. I'm not even sure why, particularly it's mostly US, but I'm going to continue to look at the analytics and continue to learn what I can, see if I can find out why. But I'm definitely going to take that into account when I'm making new videos. Keeping your audience is something else that I'm probably not experienced enough to talk wisely enough about. What I would say, however, is volume of videos. The number of videos you prepare and post has a significant effect on the volume of traffic that comes to your channel. Obviously, older videos will have a peak point usually, and then they'll taper off. But as long as you keep doing videos and you keep uploading them to the channel and you keep providing content and interesting content that people can click on, even if they only watch it for a few seconds or a minute or two, you know, it might cause them to come back and look at more videos that you're putting out there. So content volume and frequency is definitely something you want to consider if you are expecting that channel to grow and grow. So monetization, that's the thing most people are interested in, right? Can you make a living out of your YouTube channel? Well, the simple answer is you can. That is the very simple answer, because how you get there is not simple by any means. You know, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time before you even get to the point where the YouTube people will look at your channel and set it up for monetization. So just a quick recap on my stats. I've got 3.1 thousand views, 10.1 thousand minutes, not hours, minutes watched, and 44 subscribers. So it's easy to do the maths on that, right? I am a million miles away from making my channel monetized and providing me with any kind of income whatsoever. You know, so actually it's worth knowing up front, if you really are taking this seriously and you want to monetize your channel ultimately, it's going to require some real effort around all the other things I've talked about. Knowing your subjects, creating good material, making sure that you've got enough that people want to see, so plenty of volume, plenty of interest, making it exciting and making it things that people want to watch. So even if people aren't specifically interested in that thing that you're doing, it might be something they may stumble across and watch, which is important. Getting subscribers, so people that want to keep coming back for more, is hard. You've really got to work hard at it, and you've got to provide the time and the content and the frequency to do that. And then having all those things all come together in a way which means that the YouTube people will look at your channel and provide you that monetized option that we all hope to achieve at some point. So yeah, simple answer is yes, you can monetize your YouTube work. The not so simple answer is you've got to really work at it, and you've got to put a lot of time and effort and hours into it in order to get those hours back, in order to get to the point where you can do something with it. So yeah, my YouTube experiment 1 month in, a bit of an eye-opener. Maybe I'm easily pleased with my views and watch time, but probably because I really didn't expect anything from it at all. So actually, those results are really exciting for me, and as a result, I'm probably more motivated now than I was before to do more with it and to spend a bit more time on it. So I will be spending more time on my YouTube channel, and I will be doing more with it. I hope this video has been useful. If it has, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, And really don't forget to subscribe. As I've already said, I've got a million miles to go before I get to the point of having anything meaningful in those areas. But everything helps and everything counts. Thanks for listening. I hope this has been helpful. Take care.